today. The UFC 304 press conference has just ended, and we are here to talk about a few of the gems from that. Although there weren't any gems from that. Also, what about Muhammad Mokaev and his attack on Starboy Manel Kape? We're going to get into all of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it, right back with it. It's your boy Matt, and we are actually about to go over real fast the UFC 304 press conference, as well as an altercation between Manel Kape and Muhammad Mokaev. So let's start out with the press conference in which Manel Kape and Muhammad Mokaev were not there. The press conference wasn't really that eventful whatsoever. We saw Leon Edwards walk out looking pretty swaggy. We saw Belal Muhammad walk out in actually, to be real, a cool Chicago Bulls jersey, to be honest. I believe it was D Rose. Nevertheless, it was a pretty cool looking jersey. Saw both men walk out. We also saw Tom Aspinall. We saw Curtis Blades, as well as Paddy Pimblett and King Green. So let's get into it. Man, let's start out. King Green, Paddy Pimblett. Probably the best hope of providing us with any sort of entertainment for this press conference, and they did not deliver. Now, the crowd was definitely in the corner of Paddy Pimblett. They were definitely hyped up for him, but he didn't really have much to hype him up about or go off of, because now King Green has decided he didn't really have too much of an issue with Paddy Pimblett. That he didn't really have a lot of the harsh words, a lot of the venom that he had been spitting at him. Especially considering he was actually spitting some venom during the media day. So I'm not really sure what went on there. Like, I'm not sure how just one day before he was spitting on this venom to where you're like, man, this press conference is going to be off the chain, at least for these two dudes. And then you get there, and all of a sudden you're Paddy Pimblett's friend. What is all of that about? I don't know. But nevertheless, shout out to King Green, shout out to Paddy Pimblett. We'll see how, if anything else plays out at the stare downs after the weigh-in. I doubt it. Both men seem to be in a good place. King did not have a whole lot of vitriol for Paddy Pimblett. Let's move on. Next, we got Belal Muhammad and because I'm going to say Tommy Aspinall for the last part, even though nothing went on there either. Belal Muhammad and Leon Edwards. So, Leon Edwards looked like... Here's what I like about Leon Edwards. You can tell Leon Edwards has been booed and hated on so many places he's fought outside of the UK. And it's just awesome to see this man fight in the UK and be embraced by people in the UK. You can really tell that it means a lot to him that these people are cheering for him and that these people are behind him. With that said, I feel like he never has the correct dance partner in which to hype up a fight when we're talking about these press conferences and things like that. When he was facing Usman is cringe AF on the mic, like super cringe, you know what I'm talking about. Never knows what to say, his cadence is off, it's just horrible. So Leon didn't have nothing to mount against him. Then Leon against Colby Covington, Colby talked about his dead father. I mean, what type of response was he supposed to have other than he's going to murder Colby? You know what I'm saying? So, and then he gets out there with corny ass Belal Muhammad. And Belal Muhammad is out there. His voice is hoarse because he's cutting weight. He sounds terrible. His cadence is off. His jokes aren't landing. He doesn't know even how to troll Leon in front of these fans, which it should be easy because all the fans are cheering for Leon. But he couldn't even deliver there. Nevertheless, he would interrupt and cut off Leon Edwards in weird ways when Leon was trying to mount some sort of something to say against him. You could tell that Leon was just really pumped that the fans were cheering for him. It just didn't really work out. Then on top of all that, when they do the face-off after the press conference, Leon Edwards tries to make Bilal Muhammad flinch, goes like that at him, and Bilal, can't even say his name, Bilal Muhammad did not move, did not flinch, did not anything. So if anything, when you look at this, you're like, okay, this would be a win if Bilal failed the press conference horribly, which he did, and Leon tries to mount something, couldn't really. They get all the way to the end, and Leon, if he flinches and Bilal moves, you know what I'm saying, then it's a win. But instead, Leon just did that. He looked out of place. He looked corny. Bilal's just standing there. So both guys canceled each other out. Nothing. Nobody won any ground there. Finally, Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. We all knew what Curtis Blades was going to bring. So he didn't bring a whole lot he didn't have any trash talk. He was being given softball questions in which he could answer yes or no, basically. So he didn't bring a lot. Tom Aspinall, in my opinion, I know he's not trying to get mixed up in whatever's going on with Jon Jones, but in my opinion, everyone knew this press conference was going to be boring. You could see it being boring as it was playing out. If I was Tom, I would have taken the time to take a shot at Jon Jones. I mean, clearly in this, you're in front of your fans, in front of your crowd. Even if you were in America, they're going to boo Jon. You know what I'm saying? It's just the facts. But especially in the UK, man, he should have took that opportunity to take a shot at Jon Jones, to call him out, to say, no one's caring about Stipe, fight me. And when I go out there and beat Curtis Blades, fight me. But he didn't take that chance. He chilled. So nevertheless, but you know, Tom Aspinall's a class act, so it is what it is. Finally, what else has made news this week? Muhammad Mokaev attacked Manel Kape, which is probably why they weren't on this press conference, because the press conference would have been fire if they were. From the reports, this hasn't been confirmed by either man, but from the reports, and there's a grainy video out there, Muhammad Mokaev, Manel Kape in the same place, same time. Muhammad Mokaev, who has a team with him, a whole bunch of guys with him. Manel Kape only might have had one or two, a few. Says he wants to pose for a picture with Manel Kape. You know, I'm assuming to kind of hype up the fight or whatever the case is. Manel Kape agrees, and then Muhammad Mokaev at some point sucker punches him. A scuffle breaks out in which Muhammad's guys jump in and they try to, you know, have some, see if they can get in on the action on Manel Kape, take some shots at him. They get pulled apart by security, and that's that. Not a huge deal. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the fight at all. No one's talked about it. I don't think it's going to mess up the fight. But Manel Kape, you never know when he'll pull out of a fight. And I have a sneaky suspicion by the way the fight keeps getting shifted from the main card to the prelims main event to the, the Fight Pass prelim main event. I feel like the UFC has a feeling that Manel Kape is not going to make weight. And if they need to pull that fight, they will. So they're kind of hiding that fight away, tucking it away. Also, it would explain why they also weren't on the press conference. So we will see, but grade A-hole move by Muhammad Mokaev. Just dusty. And it further confirms that I think Manel Kape is going to win that fight. Because, yeah, shoot in 50 times in one fight if you want to against the lethal knees and the speed of Manel Kape. So we'll see how that plays out. This is just a quick little drop in, little tap in. We'll holler at y'all, see what's going on. Nevertheless, man, I appreciate you for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.